Good morning. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today, the members of the Memphis Police Association, members of the Memphis Firefighters Association, citizens, and of course, the media. My name is John Covington, and I'm a member of the Memphis Police Association, and we are here this morning to discuss the status of the petition drive, which was led by the Memphis Firefighters Association and the Memphis Police Association. The leaders of those two associations will speak, and after that, we'll open up the floor for questions. And this time, I'd like to introduce the president of the Memphis Police Association, Mike Williams.
Good morning. This is a historic occasion. We don't know if anything like this has ever been done in the city of Memphis. But a year ago, city leaders and the powers that be told us that when it comes to pay, health care, and retirement benefits, the Memphis Police Association and the Firefighters Association always complained, but never presented any solutions. Today, we're presenting to the city of Memphis a three-part proposed solution that, if approved by voters, will encompass issues of addressing. First, the root cause of crime at the beginning phase of life and education. Second, the financial and physical health of those who deal with crime and emergencies currently, today, and the near future. And thirdly, monies for future maintenance of repair of our current roads and bridges, all of which impact the safety and welfare of the community. The proposed ballot initiative will increase city sales tax by 0.5%. This method was chosen because millions of people visit our city daily that do not live here. Individuals come here to work daily, tourists that visit our attractions, the FedEx Forum, Elvis Presley's home, Graceland, Beale Street, the zoo, Bass Pro, and they attend events and festivals like Memphis in May. They utilize and at times place a heavy burden on our roads and emergency services divisions. The citizens of Memphis are left bearing the cost. This initiative would shift some of that cost to those visitors that utilize our roads and emergency services. The money will be dedicated to the following areas. First responders. First responders health care. By their very nature, the jobs performed daily by your firefighters and police officers are dangerous. Not only is it important for them and their families to know that if they are injured in the line of duty, their health and welfare will be taken care of. But just as important is the day-to-day health care for them and their families. Access to quality health care is vital to the well-being of our first responders. This proposition ensures their health care will be restored to the levels of 2014, before massive cuts were incurred. The proposition will also restore the cuts to first responders' pension plans for those hired prior to 2016. This puts all of these officers and firefighters on the same level field regarding benefits as those who were on the job at that time. Pre-K kindergarten. The most successful form of law enforcement is to prevent crime before it happens. Studies overwhelmingly show the best way to prevent crime is through early childhood education and prevention. That is why we're asking for these monies to also be used to fund pre-K programs. Money spent on pre-K will benefit all of Memphis and will help our youngest citizens with a good foundation as they begin their education and formative years. A good education leads to good jobs, which leads to a better community with less crime. Roads, finally. When it comes to emergencies, be it your house on fire, a car accident, someone breaking into your house, or worse, the time it takes to get to you is critical. From the moment you place a 911 call someone finally answers the phone, to a dispatcher alerting us to the need, and then the amount of time it takes us to get to you, all affects our ability to protect you. There has been a great deal of discussion about the reduction and how long you sit there on hold, which is good. But the system is still broken. When our emergency vehicles must drive slower than necessary due to the poor condition of the roads, that is why we're asking for these funds to be used to fix potholes and road repair. All this impacts the crime and safety of our citizens. That is why we are asking for this increase in the sales tax fund to help these programs. I'll be followed by Thomas Malone, President of the Firefighters Association.
Thank you, Mike. Thank everyone for coming out. And first of all, I'd like to thank the citizens of Memphis who have responded to this very, very strongly. They're sending a strong, strong message to this administration that they want a good fire and they want a good police department and they want good roads. As Mike has just laid out all the details of the actual tax, let me say that this has been this is not something that we went into idly and started doing just to try to restore pension and insurance for the employees. We've looked at this for well over a year and a half. If you'll recall, the administration put forth a half-cent sales tax just for pre-K. After going out, that lost 60 to 40%. After going out and talking with the citizens for over a year, one of the problems was there was excess money that was going unused, and they felt that it would be going to their pork products, their pork plans for other projects that they were looking at. In this actual petition drive that we've done, we've accounted for all of the dollars so the citizens will know exactly where their money is spent. We had over 140,000 citizens respond to this. That lets us know that we're on the right path and we're on the right project. When everybody talks about taxes, this is not really a tax. This is a fairness issue where everyone that comes into this city will pay it. It's not fair for the homeowners of this city to bear all the burdens. As you've seen in the past, the administration says no new taxes, but they put projects up, paying for street lights, paying for plastic bags, paying for this and that. This right here will show every citizen where every dollar is spent. The citizens have spoken. What we're asking now is for them to go to the polls and speak once more on behalf of fire and police. What we're seeing here is even people that have been outside this city, and out of this 140,000 signatures that we've obtained, we understand some of them are outside the city. That's showing us that these people are willing to pay this half-cent sales tax when they come into this city and shop. This is where they were when we were out getting signatures. They were here shopping, spending their dollars in this city. They understand that the roads need fixing. That's something that they want. They understand that there's crime in this city. They want more police officers. They understand that every crime scene that they go on or see, there are firefighters on that scene, working that scene. They need more quality firefighters. One of the things that you're going to hear from the administrations and the politicians is we're recruiting. We're recruiting. Everything's great in the city of Memphis. We're recruiting. We are not retaining, ladies and gentlemen. This is not about recruiting. We will admit that the recruiting in this city is fine. You know why? Because once you come and work 3-4 years in this city as a fire or police officer, you can go anywhere in the country and get a job. You've got more experience than anywhere in the country. Both of these jobs in this city are tremendously dangerous. As I believe President Williams said a while ago, it's a dangerous job. So what we're seeing now is we are looking for retention. We know that we can draw people, but they're coming here, they're getting their certificates, they're getting their qualifications, and they're going other places that pay more, that give these benefits. Right now, all we're trying to do is put something to the citizens that puts this in a fair, level playing field. Memphis will now, once this is voted in by the citizens, Memphis will now have a level playing field to retain those recruited people that the politicians think about. So please, 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 those that hear this message, once this gets on the election ballot, we have one more level to go, and that's to go out and vote it in. Once it's voted in, it will be there. We'll be able to retain those recruited people and have what we had prior to 2014. Thank you for coming out.
So now we'll take some questions. Before we do, I want to make clear one thing, too, is that every other city in the county already has this tax. And I don't know how many of you have ever said, well, I can't go eat in Bartlett because of the half-penny sales tax. Or I can't go to Germantown and shop because of the half-penny sales tax. I'm sure most people don't even feel it. These other cities already have this tax and are generating millions that benefit their citizens. So we want to join in that and generate the monies to truly benefit the citizens of Memphis. Now we'll take questions, and they can be answered from anybody up here. We'll just, whatever
Do you
you
guys
have.
have any idea, number one, as to how much money you could raise from raising the sales tax?
The conservative estimate is $52 million a year.
That's the city's numbers.
Well, and that's, I've heard all the way up to 70. We'll stick with the most conservative number, which is 52 million.
You know, the mayor says constantly that he's in the process of trying to rebuild this police department. That there have been raises, that he's hired more people, that the benefits packages under him have improved a little bit, not to your 2014 levels, obviously, but somewhat. He's working on that. What do you say in response to that? Because that's the latest thing he said.
Well, you know, and that's why we want to put this before the voters and have an honest, open debate, two different points of view, and we feel very confident we will win that debate. So today we won't get into particulars of those points, but as we move forward, we'll address all of that. As I say, we look forward to open, honest, fair debate, and when that's done, I think it's clear, it'll be clear to the citizens which way to go.
Mike, let me say, one of the things that we will agree with, that the mayor has been recruiting. We're not denying that people are coming here under his administration. What the problem is what I said earlier. We have to retain these people. If you look at the net of all these people that's been trained under his administration, we have a very, very small increase compared to what we've actually trained. That is our issue and our problem here, is people coming here, yeah, they want this job. But when they get in it and realize how dangerous and how heavy loaded it is, then they look what they're working for, and that's what we're trying to replace.
One of the other things, Mike, we don't want to make this a us against Mayor Strickland deal. We've went out, we've gotten the signatures. Now we just want to put it to the citizens, those that are being affected by the high crime in this city, so that they can make the decision. So it's not about the police association against or the fire association against Mayor Strickland. We're going to forego that right now. The other thing is we're losing a lot of experience. And I don't think that people realize, yeah, they're recruiting, but when you have all of the experience that's leaving the city, then that's something that the citizens don't deserve. They deserve quality, experienced police and fire personnel.
And Mike, you can fill a cup with a garden hose, but if you have a hole in the cup, you're not making much progress.
Thomas, Mike, could you tell us about the process now? You've gotten the signatures. Do you go to the election commission, get this on the municipal ballot? Have you already done that? Where's that process stand?
Well, what we're going to do after we leave this, what you see before you are the 140,000 signatures. What we're going to do once we leave here, we're going to deliver a copy to City Hall, to the comptroller. Then we're going to deliver a copy also to the election commission. So if you want to follow us as we do that, that would be fine as well.
There are statutes out there that we'll be following that actually tells us see, spot, run language. Once we get the petitions, they're verified, then we'll go through the process and take it to the proper, then they'll set the date for the election, and that's done under state statute.
Is the goal to be on the ballot for the municipal election in 2019? Is that the goal that you all want?
No. The way we have it set up now, and if they follow the timeline that's required, they will have to call a special election.
You're taking a chance on that, right? Because it's going to cost people, it costs money for a special election.
No, they do not. It's set up specifically that if you get the, and that's why when we went to this process, because we asked Mayor Strickland to put it on the ballot, we asked the city council to put it on the ballot, and they didn't. So therefore, statute says that if in fact we acquire the signatures, they have a timeline that they have to follow, and it would be before the municipal elections.
Taking a chance here, gentlemen, aren't you? Because for years you have said, we feel that the people we serve stand behind us and will help us. The results of this election might show that the idea of raising a sales tax does not stand with them. How do you feel about that?
Let me say this, Mike. You're correct. When we started this, we looked at all the intangible things that we had to do and not do. Right now, as you see right here, we don't think we're taking a chance. We think that these people have spoken. We were out speaking with these people all through the summer. And as you can see here, this is a free-willing signature that they signed. And we heard the verbiage that these people were putting out as we're doing this. And so we don't think that we're taking a chance. Obviously, time will tell. But these people have spoken to us, and we think that once they go to the ballot and cast the ballot, they'll show that this is what they wanted to do, and this is why they signed the petition.
Not only that, in asking the mayor and city council to put it on the ballot, the only thing we asked was give the citizens the opportunity to decide. And that's something we have to live with. But we feel very strongly that if the citizens are given the opportunity, then they will definitely vote in favor of this.
Now, there's been some criticism in Tennessee. We obviously don't have a state income tax. We have a very high sales tax. And some folks say that unfairly affects people who live in poverty because they have to pay sales tax on everything the same way that someone who might have more money does. Do you feel that it might burden folks who don't make as much money in a way? Is that a concern at all?
Well, this is only going to be attached to things that you buy. Even if you were to buy a vehicle, the most that can be taxed is $1,600. So on $1,600, you'll pay $8. For a family of four, when you talk about food, as you pay that sales tax, it would only cost you $40 a year. And as John has already said, when you go to Germantown, Arlington, Bartlett, Collierville, Millington, you're already paying that. It's in regards to their schools. But what's really hitting the city of Memphis hard now? Crime, emergency services, and responders. So I think that a lot of the people that are speaking out against this may not be affected, or they may not be wanting this to go into effect because they may have other desires for it. But I think the citizens of Memphis that are being affected on a daily basis understand because they've been on this ride with us as we've been going through this.
But one other thing also, the people you're speaking about, they have names on these signatures. We went to every part of the city, and some of it was the impoverished part. And we spoke to these people, and they said, yes, we will willingly pay another half cent once they understand the whole concept of what's actually going on. So we don't think that we're infringing on anybody. We don't think everybody's had the right to speak here. And so had we been beaten down over the summer, we would not be here today. But as you can see, I think these boxes speak for themselves exactly what people, and this is not necessarily about fire and police. This is about the citizens of Memphis getting what they deserve and getting the streets fixed. This is extra money. You heard the mayor say it's hard to get this money. It takes a while. This is a way of getting extra money for his pre-K and the streets, plus filling the need of keeping our and retaining our fire and police. So the people said they're ready.
When you look at it,
if the vote is no.
Well, when you look at it as recently as this morning, you had a house in Hickory Hill that was shot into 90 times. 90 times. So crime is really relevant and prevalent in this city. I think we've just started 2019. We already have about 13, 14 homicides already. So it's very critical to those individuals. When we talked about the impoverished areas of those individuals that are being affected, they're living this on a daily basis, and they want additional patrols in their areas. There are times in this city when we don't have ambulances available. You know, that's just the real cold facts. Yet, you know, we have a lot of economic development going on in this city. I would say, and even as I said in the past, it's not a matter of monies being available, it's a matter of prioritization. But at the same time, we need to put something in place that's going to solidify the benefits for these individuals that are on a daily basis putting their lives on the line and the livelihood of their families.
What do you do if the vote's no? What's next?
Then, you have to continue to look at alternatives. You know, we're not going to give up. We've been fighting this fight for years. And not only that, if you look at other cities like Atlanta and different places like that, they themselves have restored benefits for first responders because they were losing people at an alarming rate. They were losing experience base. I think Atlanta just bumped up, gave a 30% raise to their employees and restored the benefits. So at some point, the city of Memphis is going to have to realize just how important this is. If we're going to say that crime is our #1 priority, then we have to put our money where our mouth is and to shore up those emergency services divisions.
Just to get this out there, take care of it once and for all. Are either you, Mike, or you, Tommy, deciding to run for mayor this year?
Mike,
let me say about Thomas Malone. I am not a politician. And let me say this. This is about the citizens of Memphis. I would not do the citizens of Memphis that way.
And believe it or not, a lot of people continuously ask me, am I going to run again? I am not running for mayor of the city of Memphis. I'm going to stay out here and to address the issues. I think that, you know, people have purposes, and I'm starting to realize that my purpose is possibly just to be a voice of reason in the community. And I'm finding that that has a lot of pull. So therefore, we're going to be out here and we're going to keep informing the citizens of actually what's going on in this city.
But let me say this, Mike, about the mayor. As Mike Williams just said, this is not about our mayor. I don't care how you look at it. He is our mayor. What he does, in his opinion, I'm very, very confident that he's doing what he thinks is best for the citizens and the city. That's what we're doing. This is just a different approach of how we're handling it. When we went into negotiations, the mayor said, as Mike said earlier, all y'all do is bring issues up here. You need to bring solutions. So we came back and we met. And we said, you know, we can't argue with that. That's a real truth statement. So this is the solution for retention of fire and police, we believe. And we can talk about what citizens think. And when we were out in the streets, the citizens understand this more so than we give them credit for. They understand that this is a reason. These things that we're trying to restore are things that people hired on and were promised when they came on this job. They were taken from them. This is not about giving somebody something new. This is restoring what they were promised when they came on. That's the reason that people have left, because the promise was not fulfilled, and we're trying to bring them back and keep what we have.
All right, guys, I think that about wraps it up. Our next step is we'll be delivering the petitions to City Hall and to the Election Commission, and we welcome you to be there for that. So thank you very much for coming, and have a good morning.
I can't believe